Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist BBQ. I'm Erica Yoder, and today I'm back. This is the new Grill Zebo. I'm in a new place, and I'm really excited to shoot some content, but I'm even more excited specifically about today's video. I'm gonna show you how to smoke chicken breast. It's cheap, it's delicious, and you're gonna be doing it all the time. I wanted to tell you guys really quick, I'm going to be in North Carolina this weekend, January 20th and 21st. I'm doing a barbecue class, but the cool thing for you guys is that we're doing a barbecue pop-up on Saturday to benefit local veterans. So we're going to be at the VFW in Holly Ridge. If you want barbecue and you want to see what you can learn in my class, you can show up. I'm going to put information in the description below. So click on that link and sign up in the Eventbrite so we know that you're coming, so we make sure to cook enough food. Anyway, let's get into the video. The idea for this came from one of my patrons over on Patreon. He sent me in a message a photo of some chicken that he'd cooked, and he'd cooked it like traditional Texas-style turkey breast. And I'd been searching for turkey breast, and there was nowhere to be found anywhere near me. I should have reasoned through it and thought, well, why don't I just use chicken breast and treat it the same way? I didn't. Michael did. And so Michael Gunn, thank you so much for this idea. I've tried it a few times, and it's amazing. So you guys have to check this out. It's incredibly simple and incredibly delicious. So the first thing you have to do is get some boneless, skinless chicken breast. You can find that pretty much anywhere. I like to go to Restaurant Depot. It's not very expensive, and you get a huge container of it, so you can freeze some if you want to. You can give it to neighbors. It is so cheap that it's hard to say no to a deal like that. So we're gonna get this chicken ready. The first thing I do is I salt it because I wanna make sure that there's salt all around it. It's gonna help preserve that moisture. Unlike things like brisket or pulled pork that you cook for a long, long time and you break down the collagen and you render fat. Chicken, what you want is actual water to provide the moisture, not rendered fat or hydrolyzed collagen. So we want to kind of dry brine this to retain as much moisture as possible. So I'm gonna salt it all. I'm gonna put it in a plastic container. So let's get the chicken and get started. Trimmed up about 10 pounds of chicken. At this point, we're gonna salt them, put them in this container, let them sit for a minute, allow that salt to diffuse throughout the meat. And then we're gonna put pepper on it immediately before we put it on the smoker. The reason we do pepper later is because I want the outside to look really good. And having a nice even coat of pepper is part of that outside appearance. And so we're gonna let the salt work its magic for a little bit. You can put it back in the fridge for a couple hours. You could do it the next day, but just give it a little bit of time, even though it's gonna have time at higher temperatures for the salt to diffuse. I found just better results and salt penetrating all the way through when I give it some time. Okay, I got these kind of dry brining right now. You could put them in the refrigerator, but right now it's 37 degrees out here, so there's no need for a refrigerator at all. I just covered them. I'm gonna let them sit on the table. I'm gonna take the rest of the chicken, put it back in the fridge. Two notes on this. One is I used a disposable cutting board because my philosophy with chicken juice is don't let it touch anything that I don't want to throw away, or I'm not willing to bleach. And so I don't want to have a nice cutting board get a bunch of raw chicken juice in it. Not interested in that. The second thing that's important to know is that you can do a traditional brine with these chicken breasts. I just don't like the sloshing chicken juices and spilling it in my fridge or spilling it on the kitchen floor. It's just a pain. So I just do a dry method. So then I take them out, put them on the cutting board, get a nice even coat of black pepper on them, then put them in the smoker. It's been a few minutes, the salt's dissolved, and now just a nice coat of black pepper on the bottom side first, then on the top because we want the top to look really nice. Then it goes on the smoker. Last one. All right, for the cook, we're gonna keep it pretty simple. We're gonna keep it at about 200 to maybe 225 degrees and pretty smoky until we get the color on the outside that we really want. We want kind of a nice brown color where the smoke has really started to adhere and it's kind of dried up just a little bit so that the pepper won't fall off after we wrap it in foil. And that's another reason why I like to keep it simple with just salt and pepper, because you get a really good sense of the color on the outside. If you're using a complex rub that has a lot of paprika or chili powder or something like that in it, it can kind of obscure the outside so you can't really see how much smoke you've put on the outside of the chicken. And we want to get a good handle of that because this is a relatively short cook time. We don't have a lot of room to play with smoke flavor. So to sum it up, about 200 and smoky. It's been a little bit over an hour, almost an hour and a half, and so we have the color on these that we want. So let's take a look at that, and then we're gonna wrap them up. To wrap these, it's very basic. We're gonna get a sheet of foil. We're gonna take our chicken breast out. The pretty side we're gonna face down and then put a big chunk of butter right on the top of it, wrap it back up, and then put it in the smoker. We're gonna use unsalted Kerrygold butter. Unsalted because we've already salted the chicken breast. We don't need more salt. And Kerrygold just because it's my favorite. Now that we're wrapped, we have to finish these off. And here is a crucial distinction with the way I'm cooking these chicken breasts with the way you might have cooked them in the past. Now, I eat a lot of chicken breasts, okay? So despite the enormous weight I've gained in the last several years, I actually do eat a lot of chicken breast. And I've had a lot of dry chicken breast. I've had a lot of chicken breast that's kind of flavorless. And this is a complete game changer from the way I was cooking chicken breast on the grill just to get it done, just so I had food to eat. The way I'm doing these is to maximize the juiciness. So we smoked them, we added a lot of great smoke flavor. We added butter to keep everything on the outside nice and moist. And if you want to dunk these in butter when you're done, that's another way to increase the moisture and increase the flavor that you're getting with a very cheap cut. Now, if you don't want to have overly fatty chicken breast, this is just kind of some fat on the outside. You can actually just wrap it without the butter at all and you have something that's very lean and still very juicy. But the absolute key distinction in how we're cooking these is the final temperature. If you look at the USDA charts, which I'm gonna link in the description below, so if you have any questions about this, I think it's a 92-page document that lists out everything you would ever need to know about time and temperature for food safety. Now, microorganisms start to die at about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. But if you wanted to cook something at 130 degrees Fahrenheit until everything dies, or nearly everything dies, it's gonna take you a long, long time. Let me see how long that would take, actually. Kind of curious myself. According to the USDA, it's about 2 hours for your meat to be safe if you're at 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, specifically for chicken, where this chicken chart starts on the USDA website, it is 136 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to need to cook it for just a little over an hour, depending on how much fat there's present. So you don't want to wait around probably for an hour, but here's the key thing. At 155 degrees Fahrenheit, you're looking at 44.2 seconds. Now, if you go to 165, it's instantaneous, 0 seconds, it is completely safe. But also at 165, you get dry, tough, stringy chicken that you don't really want to eat. But at 155, I think it's kind of the perfect place between overcooked and undercooked. Because if you don't cook chicken enough, it can kind of get stringy. I've tested out a number of different temperatures and holding it at that temperature for a long time. It's kind of a weird texture. 155 to me is the sweet spot. And also it's a point where you don't have to wait around for a long time for it to be safe to eat. Now, one caveat is if you're cooking for people who are elderly or young children or people who are immunocompromised, it's probably safest to go to 165. If you have any questions about food safety or time and temperature necessary to kill bacteria or other microorganisms, I'm going to link that chart from the USDA. So don't trust me, trust that chart and do it however you feel safe. So 165, everything dies instantly, but 155, you're looking at a little less than a minute. And to me, the benefits of going to 155 and holding it there for 1 minute outweigh anything that I would get from 165. Then again, I'm not, 95 years old or 2 years old. So for me, this is the way to go. Now to do this effectively, you have to have a good digital instant read thermometer. The very best on the market, in my opinion, is the ThermoPen 1. You get a reading in under 1 second, and it is incredibly accurate. They're not a sponsor, but I do have an affiliate link in the description, so if you want to check them out, click on that affiliate link. These are the very best. I've used these so many times, and they're also very durable, and they're water resistant. I have spent more money on crappy instant read thermometers that got wet and stopped working, or they started to rust, or for some reason they broke, than I've spent on ThermoPens. These are by far the best. So as we approach 155 degrees, we're going to start checking. And so it's going to be 155. Once it's there for about a minute, I'm going to pull it off and then start to let it cool. And then we're going to take these, put them on the cutting board, slice them, and taste them. One other important note, in that chart from the USDA, it has a few different options of how to get the right amount of relative humidity to make sure that the food is going to be safe to eat. So usually when I'm cooking something like brisket, I don't use a water pan. I think it inhibits bark formation. But for this, because we're trying to maximize moisture inside and because I want a relatively humid cooking environment so that all those microorganisms die, for that reason, I have a water pan in here right now, and I'm trying to keep all that water inside the chicken. I don't want to lose a lot of water to evaporative cooling. Unlike a brisket where I'm trying to concentrate the flavor, here with the chicken, I'm trying to keep as much moisture in there as possible. So make sure that your cooking environment is humid enough to meet those USDA requirements. That way you can eat this, and it's going to be juicy and delicious and safe. Okay, from now to the end of the cook, we're going to rock at about 275, get these to 155 degrees for about a minute, and then take them off. We're getting really close, so I'm going to pull one out. I'm going to temp it and see if it's done. Gorgeous. Look at that. 156 and higher. It's on 156 and higher. So you guys can see it drops down to 156 and goes back up to 158. Come back out. Drops back down to 156. So I'll dutifully wait 1 minute, and then we can feast. 58, 1,000, 59, 1,000, 60, 1,000. Let's go. Beautiful. You want a little bit of extra juice? Oh yeah. Look at that. All right, let's take a look. Can you see? Okay, let's see. Yeah, tell me that's not juicy. Oh yeah. Let's cut a piece. Can you believe this? This is chicken breasts. Super lean, just dripping juice. See all the juice coming out? It's almost a shame. I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but you can kind of see a smoke ring all the way to there. Pretty crazy. And super, super juicy. So, let's take a bite. Packed with juice. Pale but very thick smoke ring, probably from the extended period of time at low temperature where we're just trying to make it really smoky. But I mean, if I had a piece of brisket this juicy, I'd say good job to whoever cooked it. But wow, okay. Oh, oh man. Unbelievable. That is so good. I'm thinking back on all the dry, overcooked, stringy chicken breasts I've eaten in my life, and I say to myself, never again. Not when I can make it like this. So, if you guys haven't tried it, give it a shot. You can try this. Try it. Right? Right? No more dry chicken breast. I tried so many different things, marinating in Italian dressing, you know, dry brining, all kinds of stuff. Some things helped a little bit, but nothing worked like this. This is absolutely incredible. And like I said, if you want to make it even juicier, you can have some melted butter, and before you serve it, you just take the slices, dip it in butter, put it on the plate, and it's gonna be incredible. So, man, I've had so many horrible Thanksgiving turkeys that wish they could have been this. I mean, my goodness. I've had a lot of poultry in my day, and most of it was dry, but at least it was tough. Think about it. Once again, if you get a chance, if you're in the North Carolina area, this Saturday, January 21st, you can come out to support veterans. We're doing a barbecue pop-up right after the class that I'm doing on Friday and Saturday. If you just want to come and eat great food that we're going to be cooking as a class together, and all the proceeds go toward veterans at the VFW there in Holly Ridge. So come out, check it out. We're going to have lots of food. Just make sure you click on the link in the description so that we know that you're coming, so we cook enough food. We have an Eventbrite set up, so just let us know if you're coming. Thank you guys for watching Mad Scientist BBQ. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to cook this also, by the way. You can also follow me on Patreon and get access to direct messages with me, get entered into the monthly contests, and generally be a part of the Discord, which is a lot of fun. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mad Scientist BBQ. I'll see you guys next time.